Hey everybody, this is Danny Chapin from Therethink.com, and today we're going to walk through understanding EOBs for mental health insurance claims. So we have a couple of EOBs that we're going to walk through. All of the information, the sensitive information, has been deleted, so they're going to look very sparse. But nevertheless, we're going to walk through these and try to make sense of them for you, so that in the future, when you look at your EOBs, you can kind of understand them a lot better. So you're going to receive an EOB, which is an explanation of benefits, which is basically a summary of the amount of money that's been paid by an insurance company as well as the patient of that insurance company for your services as a provider, mental health provider. So this is from Aetna. Here is going to be where the payment address would be and the provider address information would be. Here is going to be where the provider identification number, the tax ID number, and then all of the specific payment information would live. And we're going to actually scroll down into this section here and take a look for one specific service date, just so that we can understand it. So all the relevant information is deleted, but what we're going to do is pretend that there is client information here. So there's going to be an actual patient name. The claim ID will have a name, so that when you're calling up an insurance company to talk about a specific claim, you'll want to reference that claim ID, either the member, with the member ID here, and then the group name. And then you'll have other information here. But you'll see here in this box, this is going to describe the service date, the place of service, the service code, the number of units that have been charged, the amount charged, the contracted or negotiated amount, the amount the co-payment is, and then a bunch of other information here, and then the kind of a summary of the actual financials. So let's go through it really quickly here. So this service date is 7/30 in 2014, and the actual time of day is not relevant for filing claims, so you don't need to worry about that, but make sure, of course, you have a record in your own calendar. The place of service is going to be 11. That just means that it's in office. The service code is 90834, so that's going to be a 45-minute to 60-minute individual therapy session, and the number of service units billed is just 1. Okay, so we strongly recommend that you keep within the defaults for service codes, and 1 for 90834 is the default. The amount charged is $150. That's going to be the full charge amount that you would charge a private pay client, and that is going to be set, and you're going to need to agree upon that amount in your contract with your insurance panel. The negotiated amount is your contracted rate based on being an in-network provider for that specific service code. So this is going to be how much you're going to get paid by a combination of the insurance company and the patient in total. Okay, so we need to make sure that the amount paid always adds up to $70. Co-payment is going to be the patient's responsibility. So co-payment or co-insurance are going to vary depending on the insurance plan of the patient. So we can see here that it's $15. So $15 of $70 leaves us with $55 for the actual amount that's being paid by the insurance company. And it really is that simple. It doesn't need to be particularly complex. We'll go ahead and take a look at a few other examples. You can also see a diagnosis code here. Let's take a look at another one. Okay, so this one's from UHC. This is going to be where the provider information lives. This is going to be where the provider's information about the check, as well as further information, so the tax ID number, MPI, group number, and group name. And then we also have another blank one here. It's a little bit fuzzy, so I apologize for that. But you'll see here the dates, very hard to read. This one's a little bit more legible here, 9/0, the 9th, the 1st, 2014. The charge amount is $150. The provider adjusted discount, so that's the amount that's changed, is going to be $90, which leaves us with $60 for the allowed amount. Because there's a $30 co-payment from the patient, excuse me, and the plan covers 100% of the total amount, the patient is going to pay $30 of the $60, and the insurance company is going to pay another $30. Okay, so and then the total payable to the provider is going to be a combination of multiple claims. And then, of course, you have the description, the services here, too. This one does not actually include the diagnosis code. Some claims do, some claims don't. But here's just another simple example. Okay, here's another Aetna one. So go ahead and take a look down here. Again, we have a different, let's see if we can get, so here's a different diagnosis code. Okay, so this is for family therapy, I believe. Again, same place, same units, same full price, just a different contracted rate. So instead of $70, it's $78, but there's still a $15 copayment, which means that you're going to get paid more money from the insurance company. Okay, so again, 15 plus 63 has to equal 78. It has to equal the contracted rate. And if it doesn't, then there's something that's wrong, and you need to go ahead and call the insurance company. And when you do, you would want to reference the claim ID number, the service date, and the member ID of the actual member. You're probably also going to need to have all the relevant member information like their address, their date of birth, etc. So keep all that stuff ready and available for when you do need to call insurance companies. Let's take a look at another example here. This one is from Blue Shield MHSA. So that's a subcontracted division of Blue Shield through Magellan. Okay, so this is one of those cases where it can be a little bit confusing. But we're going to go ahead and take a look at this one. This one has the intake code, so 90791. The total amount billed is $140. It's been discounted by $50, so that's the adjusted amount, which means that 140 minus 50 is going to be $90 paid in full. Because there's a $20 copayment, the insurance company is going to pay the remainder of $90 minus 20, which is $70. Okay, so pretty straightforward. Here, the check number would be here. All of the relevant information would be here and here. And then there are notes here just in case things are not right. So if things are confused, they'll be marked with asterisks and other symbols, and then you can reference those and reference the claim number, which would live here when you make that phone call. Let's go ahead and look at one final case here. This is another MHSA claim, and this one has a different billing service code. So we're charging $150. The discounted rate is $79, which means that there's going to be $71 allowed. So these two are going to add up to the billed amount for this specific service code. Okay, so when you're asked about your contracted rate for a certain service code, you need to make sure that it's equal to the allowed amount. So if you call up an insurance company and you want to renegotiate your contracted rate, and we have a guide about that on therethink.com, go ahead and check that out. How to negotiate a higher rate for certain CPT codes based on your specialties. You want to make sure that when you do that call that the contracted rate is always remaining the same. So if this is changing based on this number, based on this CPT code here, something is amiss. So go ahead and call up the insurance company and make sure that's right. So you should always be getting paid $71 per session for 1 unit billed on 90847. Okay, so this person also has a $20 copayment, which means that the remainder, 71 less 20, is going to be $51. And because there's two service dates here, we're going to add those two up. So you're owed $40 from the patient, and you're getting $102 covered by the insurance company. Pretty straightforward stuff. It's not rocket science, but it can definitely be confusing. A little bit of math is required. So make sure that when you are filing claims, you do have thorough notes, and that you do make sure to reference what you've been paid in person from the client and what the insurance company has paid you as well. We provide services like this at therethink.com/billing for our billing service, but you can go ahead and hopefully this guide helps you better understand how to read and interpret EOBs for mental health claims. Thanks.